Deadpool is now available in Marvel's Midnight Suns, and he brings exploding piñatas to the battlefield. Yes, really. I finished all the new story content, so I want to go over everything that is new, from the hilarious cutscenes to the brand new enemies you can fight. There are no story spoilers whatsoever, thanks to 2K for sponsoring this video. Totally check the game and the DLC out by the link in the description. A like would really help us out, and let's go. You can already unlock Deadpool very early on. After completing the third main mission of the game, called Spider-Man's, you get access to the 3 new DLC story quests. And this entrance is pretty much what you would expect.
You the new guy? Huh? Sorry, the new fully customizable, heroically upgradable monster masher? Wisecracking anti-hero, merc, very occasional hero, whatever. I'm adaptable. Spin me off, it's a big franchise.
Finish this first mission and Deadpool is unlocked for your team, and maybe you already heard it, but he's voiced by Nolan North, who was also the voice of Deadpool in the 2013 game, so it's a perfect fit in my opinion. In this new story, you are helping him steal back a mysterious statue that summons evil vampires, and these new enemy types are definitely not easy to kill, more on that later. Deadpool is joined by a variety of Midnight Suns characters that are sometimes already logged in, but that doesn't stop him from being his chaotic self and breaking the fourth wall a ton of times.
The level designer says she went that way.
On our left. Careful.
And you be careful.
It makes a dangerous situation a bit more lighthearted and fun to play. The fact that he never takes himself or others seriously, and also the interactions with Blade or your hunter, for example, in and out of combat, are hilarious.
I need to stop taking jobs from mysterious internet strangers. This could have been dangerous.
Now Deadpool has his standard red outfit, but if you're able to open a lot of chests in the Abbey area, which you can easily do after increasing your arcane knowledge level, you can unlock some different color schemes almost immediately, like this super silly unicorn one. If you got the Legendary Edition, you will immediately have access to 2 other outfits, like this cowboy one or the X-Force suit, which makes him look even more deadly. And there's of course also a special Midnight Suns Legendary outfit, but for this you need the max friendship level, so make sure you keep an eye out for a little heart above Deadpool's head, so you can of course do hangouts after a mission. Now one thing to keep in mind is that because of his unstable and unpredictable nature, Deadpool only loves or dislikes an activity. There's no in between, so think twice before choosing one and you will get the maximum level in no time. You can also bring him to a haven after finding a location on the Abbey grounds and give him compliments to increase the level. It is really good for his ego, as he mentions quite often, and getting to friendship level 2 unlocks a nice passive ability for during combat called Staying Alive. His healing factor will provide health recovery each turn and can be improved the more you befriend him. Next to that, Deadpool also has some great active skills. You start with 4 and eventually can unlock new ones by going to Tony Stark at the Forge and analyzing new gamma coils. You've got your basic attack cards like Quick Shot, so you can play more cards if you take out an enemy with this skill, and Death from Above, where he jumps into the air to slice enemies up with his katanas. Altogether now makes you draw extra cards during your turn, which is quite handy if you don't have a lot of heroism, for example. And again, you've got that amazing and powerful Pain Pinata Grenade, which deals damage to each enemy in an area. I love this animation. What's so special about Deadpool is that he is able to improve the effects of his cards with the En Fuego status effect. When he knocks an enemy out while using one of his ability cards, he gains a stack, which you can see on the bottom left of the screen. Each stack can increase the effect of his abilities, like raising the damage of the Death from Above skill, increase the damage area of the Pain Pinata with 25%, so you can blow up even more enemies at once, and your passive healing ability can get affected as well. The more stacks you have, the more health Deadpool gets back each turn. There is one catch though. Every time Deadpool takes damage, he loses a stack, so you better make sure he doesn't become a target of many enemies the next turn. Or use the epic card, hey! Face. Yes, we're bleeping this one out for YouTube guideline reasons. So Deadpool can taunt an enemy, but he also gains resistance that prevents all damage from the next damaging attack. So the most important thing to make him a very OP character is to attack a lot of enemies, but again, make sure he doesn't become the target. And just like all the other characters in Midnight Suns, Deadpool has a legendary heroic ability, which he unlocks after completing a special challenge when reaching his max friendship level. It's called Burning Sensation and deals a huge amount of single target damage, which you can even double with Enfuego stacks. So when you get this one, I suggest saving this for a big boss or an enemy with lots of health or shields. Next to the new story missions, there are also new general missions added with this DLC, which you can also access at the war table. You'll recognize it by the title of the mission, which in my example was Defeat Vampires, so easy enough. Here you will fight against the new vampire type enemies, which may vary from standard to even turned Hydra soldiers or mystics. So when the standard vampires attack a hero, they add 1 bleed to random hero cards, which you will see on the bottom right of your screen. What this means is when these cards appear in your hand and you use them, the bleed debuff will activate. This works differently than the bleed you add with Blade, for example, because this time it doesn't work in your favor. The bleed effect even works through active shields or blocks, so be careful with your next move. Now some locations may contain hemolisks, so-called vampire egg sacs, where new vampires can hatch out of if these aren't destroyed after a specific amount of card plays. This means that every time you use a card, the timer counts down, so it's very important to kill it off before it's too late. After the final story mission, you may also encounter turned Hydra soldiers and mystics, and these are the most interesting new enemies in my opinion. They have their own abilities mixed with those of vampires, so while they deal damage to a hero, there's a 50% chance they apply 1 bleed to them as well. Some elites even have the power to turn into an undead vampire minion after you knock them out, so you have to kill them twice in order to defeat them all. And I gotta say, this gave a refreshing feeling to the combat, not only because of the many timed effects that makes you think twice before making a move, but also the variety of new enemies and what they are able to do. And next to unlocking Deadpool, he also comes with a new research project that may improve your overall combat: a food truck. After reaching research level 3 and playing at least 2 missions with Deadpool, you can unlock the ability to discard 1 card from your hand to gain 1 extra move. So next to the use of abilities, you're also able to move around the battlefield to get out of enemies' way or to shove enemies into the environment or each other to deal extra damage, for example. So getting an extra move slot during a turn can be quite crucial to keep all your heroes alive. By upgrading it later on in the game, you can even get 1 extra shove to deal even more damage. You can only discard 1 card per encounter though, so think about it carefully before using it. Another item Deadpool has pitched an idea for to do research on is a combat item called the Effort Maximizer, which you can unlock at research level 8 and after upgrading 2 Deadpool abilities. It's an energy drink that lets you generate a copy of each of a specific hero ability in your current hand. So if you want to use Blade a lot in 1 turn, for example, you can use this item to get more of his abilities available to you. One thing to keep in mind though is that it will discard the rest of your hand, so you will only have skills of 1 hero in your current hand at that moment. So after playing with Deadpool a lot, I can for certain say that including him in this DLC was a great thing. You can unlock him via the Midnight Suns Season Pass, or you can buy the Good, the Bad and the Undead DLC pack separately. Deadpool is the first of 4 characters who will join the roster, so when we know more about the rest we will let you know here, so totally subscribe if you haven't already to not miss any Midnight Suns content. Check the game out via the link in the video description, a like on the video would really help us out, and you can check out our previous video by clicking on the screen. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!